Indiana Hoosiers Live 63, presented by FanDuel Sports. What, Brad? Why are you giving me the one?
I'm not muted.
No, you. Why are you going like this?
Number one.
Oh,
Number one.
oh, dude, I'm a little on edge because like I don't if you haven't been on Twitter in the last 20-25 minutes or at least all day, like, and you
I
don't know
haven't.
what
I
Bison
haven't been
Drop
on
is,
Twitter in the last 25 minutes. What has been going on?
if you don't know what Bison Drop is, go check out Bison Drop on Twitter. Collective just responded to me and said BTA. I'm kind of nervous about what that means. Um, but yeah, something's dropping tomorrow. I think it's merch. People seem to think it's clown shoes, but they've been drumming up a lot of excitement. And so yeah, my eyes are on Bison Drop, Brad. I've gone to bisondrop.com. I've put my email in. I follow Bison Drop on Twitter. They've been dropping a little bison under people all day. Like, it's got me jacked up. It's got me on edge. I'm feeling good, Brad. It's Peach Bowl week. How could you not be feeling
Hey,
good?
you're going. I'm jealous.
I know, I'm pumped.
No,
One of
Rose
us has
Bowl's
to be
better
at
though.
Houston.
Yeah, Rose Bowl's better. She says.
I know. We were when
Bias,
we'll get into the
bias,
conversation later. Like our mutual buddy is going to be joining us a little bit later, Atlanta's very own. And so we'll talk about kind of the Peach Bowl, and we'll talk about the college football schedule, and we'll have like a really in-depth college football conversation. But I wanted to talk about a couple other things first, Brad. And me and you went back and forth. We both were in agreement. We don't want to have a full-blown like transfer portal breakdown because we're playing in the Peach Bowl this week, but I think it would be foolish to not at least acknowledge the amount of momentum this team has built in the transfer portal this week. So I want to tee you up very, very high level. What are your thoughts on the transfer portal haul so far and how they've been attacking it?
I mean, it seems like we can get whoever we want. Yeah, just getting 8 commitments in the first 48 hours. And I mean, have there been more announced yet? Or I mean, there's some guys that visited that I would have liked to have. I'm sure everyone's seen the visit stuff, right? Like, I'm sure there's plenty of guys that visited that we'd like to have, but it would be nice to have committed. But there's still plenty of time, right? How long is this thing open?
It's open 15 days, so it's open the second. It closes the
And
17th.
there's no
I thought you were going to be much more fired
there's
up.
no second one this year, right?
Correct.
Interesting. So yeah, I guess things are moving fast. It closes before the championship game.
When is the championship game?
The 19th.
It closes the 17th. So whatever. Yeah. So I don't know if you can hear the dog freaking out downstairs. I apologize.
Yeah, it's it's fucked. You gotta unmute yourself. I can't do this. I can't.
Dude, is everything good? I don't know. Nick Marsh committed, Josh Hoover committed. Like, we have the quarterback.
Are we calling them out yet? Sorry, I didn't realize we're.
No. I don't know. I thought you'd be a little bit more excited about the.
Well, yeah. I mean, we got clear replacements at quarterback, receiver, D end. I mean, just all right. Let's just. I'm not even gonna talk about the guys. Like, what do we need? We got the quarterback. Probably need like two running backs. I need like 2 of those. Probably need like maybe 1 or 2 more receivers. Tight ends look really young. They're going young with tight ends, it seems. It's interesting. So maybe they're bringing in an old vet to start. O lineman and trench play. Always excited to see what they do there. I'm sure we'll be fine no matter what. Linebacker looks pretty solid next year, but I heard of a guy visiting and seems there's momentum there, so we'll see. And then, yeah, could always use some DBs. Always.
I mean, you looked at me like I had 7 heads when I was like, I thought you'd be a little bit more excited, but it's like,
it's exciting. We can get whoever. What do you mean? I said we can. It seems like we can get whoever we want. Like, how is that not exciting? Like that is exactly where you want to be. Come on now. It's just, I'm trying to stay locked in for Oregon. We got a big.
I get it. Let me lock you back out for a second, because the other big thing that happened this week that's not going to affect the 2025 Hoosiers, like this version of the Indiana Hoosiers, but it is a newsworthy thing that happened this week, was the Las Vegas Raiders secure the first overall pick. Why is that significant? Because everybody believes it's going to be Fernando Mendoza. He's minus 450 on FanDuel right now to be the number one pick. So even if Vegas trades it, which I don't think they will, but at least for me personally, as a Jets fan, after watching a team that didn't have an interception all year and like it is literally the worst run professional sports organization there is, like having Fernando be able to go and like be this franchise savior for for an organization, and like now like having to see this, like I get to have an NFL future as a fan, like selfishly, like, that's pretty cool. But what did you think? Like he's going to Vegas, Brad. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel nervous. I mean, it's good having Tom Brady there. I think that's nice. That's kind of like his childhood idol. It's pretty cool. Cool connection there, him being part owner. They don't have a coach right now. It's, I think it's important that he ends up in a good situation. I think quarterbacks are failed more so by their employer than anything else in this league. And I just wish him the best. I think it's just win, baby, right? Like that is the moniker there. So maybe Mendoza can bring it back. He is a generational guy. He's just scratching the surface. I just hope they bring some good stability around him. I think that's what's going to be really important, because he's going to be thrown in right away. There's no guy on that roster that can beat him out. It'll be interesting, because I really wanted the Rams to end up getting him, and I still that could happen. There's a long times away from the NFL draft, and yeah, I'm sure Fernando's thinking about it less than we are, to be quite honest.
Oh no, listen, and I don't have any of the like real quotes written down from the guys, but if you saw anything that like the players from like this year's team were saying about this game, like, these dudes could not care less about the noise going on around them, and I think that's like one of the most impressive things about this football team is their ability to lock in through the noise, because like there was a lot of buzz this week about the transfer portal, and like, if you listen to Elijah Surratt's press conference, like you would have thought it was Tuesday, week 3. Like he calm, cool, collected, focused on the goal. Like it's a really exciting time to be a Hoosier in the present, looking at the future of Indiana football, and obviously in like recent history, like coming off the Rose Bowl, coming off the Big Ten championship. So a lot to be really, really excited about, Brad.
Yeah, I mean, we're playing Oregon in the Peach Bowl in a college football semifinal, and we're favored in the ball game. I mean, I just can't wait to start talking my shit about our team. I mean, we're getting whoever we want in the portal. We are the boogeyman in college football. Like that is who we are, and we're coming in all facets. Fast, physical, relentless, smart, disciplined employees. I've been saying it all day. I'm so locked in to this shit. I'm just as locked in.
You don't even know what the freeze frame is, Brad.
Oh, I know what the freeze frame 44 on K-State. I know enough. He's sick. He's gonna be awesome.
Do you have any guesses? I'm going back to Bison Drop because I'm retweeting the live show on the timeline. But do you have any guesses of what Bison Drop could be, Brad? Because my initial guess was that they're auctioning off the walkie-talkie, like Brian Haynes' walkie-talkie from the Rose Bowl, and everyone told me that they thought it was clown shoes. But I'm trying to think I'm trying to think like ways you're gonna make money, right? So if you're gonna like monetize with this, like you're not gonna sell clown shoes. That's ridiculous.
I mean, it works. It's kind of, I guess, yeah. No one.
I mean, it's not ridiculous. It's cool. Like if they make it like
Brian Haynes, if there's a story behind it, what Brian Haynes on Twitter is just too much. I mean, he needs to settle down. Honestly, he's too much. Someone's got to reel that guy in. He's awesome. Huh? No. I'm glad he's talking his shit. I'm glad.
That's too funny. All right, we're waiting on Atlanta's very own Justin Berger to join us to talk about the Peach Bowl. But
we're supposed to play the odds. Huh?
No, we covered everything. No, so we're talking about the Peach Bowl. Brad, real big picture before we jump into it. It's hard to beat a good team twice, right? Hard to beat a great team twice. Oh, speaking of, right on time. Atlanta's very own Justin Berger.
Oh
Welcome to the show.
Always punctual. Hi, fellas.
How are we?
Excited. Healthy bit of nervous, but excited.
So
Yeah.
allow me to, through the dog toys back here, allow me to fill in the listeners as to why Justin is joining us on the show and why this is significant for me, for Indiana football fans. Back when, or I'll say this, the most common chirp that we get on Twitter is that Indiana football has had no fans. And I can't believe this dog is sitting behind me chewing on this toy right now. This is insane.
Lock in.
The noise is getting to me right now. Stadium pulse, all that stuff. No, but back in when we were in college, back in 2019, like I had an Indiana football podcast, and the co-host of that podcast is below us on the screen right now. It is Justin Berger. And so we sat through the Tom Allen era, talking through microphones about what could be about Indiana football, about what the success of this program could be. And we really haven't had a conversation about Indiana football since. And so, Justin,
we really thought we were living through the good old days. You know, you remember freshman year was the Ohio State season. I think it opened. I'm sure you guys have talked about this a million times, but College Game Day was there to open the college football season. And we were up 21-20 at half, and like, we might have something here. It is. I didn't think as a person from the Southeast who knowingly went to a school that was horrific at football, I never thought I'd be in this position. So yeah, it is just crazy how quickly things have changed. But I mean, Indiana's had the most success with this method, but you can certainly point to other programs that have been close to as bad as they have, and look at them now. And that's a pointing to this era thing. So
Vanderbilt, best season of all time.
Well,
and also top 10 in KenPom right now. If you're watching hoops.
Well, Brad, I know you love KenPom, but I look at a team like Northwestern, like is 5 years ago is even as atrocious as the Oakland Raiders offense was this year. Chip Kelly's not taking an OC job at Northwestern a few years ago. Like anything, you can win anywhere, and Indiana's a great example of that.
Yeah, I'm just hoping my Bruins can maybe get there if they could just get their heads out of their ass over there in Westwood. Figure it out.
You brought it up, Justin, but being from Atlanta, being a Southern Hoosier, being a Southern football fan, going into the Rose Bowl, coming out of the Rose Bowl, stark difference in the way people were talking to you. How was the buildup going into that game from your perspective, and then what was it like in the aftermath?
So I mean, I think we really need to have a longer conversation, but like, let's just, last year was amazing, but all the things that we already know, like when they needed to step up, they didn't. So all the credibility that we as fans were trying to build with other fans was sort of lost because the Notre Dame and Ohio State games were disasters. So we're a little walking on eggshells this year. And I think, my confidence rose as the team's confidence rose. Like after the Oregon game, I felt pretty secure in what this team was able to do. I've been arguing with friends and colleagues for a long time that the win at Iowa is as impressive of a win as you can have anywhere. And it's hard to convince people down here of that sometimes. But I think if I can speak for a region, the Ohio State win for our fan base was surreal. And I think for people down here, it definitely opened some eyes, but still, as good as Ohio State has been, they don't play in the SEC. So I think there was a lot of Ohio State, I believe, is certainly a better football team than Alabama. Alabama was a flawed football team. We saw that in the SEC championship and in the Rose Bowl. But for some people, beating that team was more important than a win at Oregon or a win in Indianapolis against Ohio State. So I think there's a little bit of a feeling now like, okay, these kids from Southern Indiana can play. But yeah, I mean, it's
Can I
always
ask you
going
a
to.
question real
Yeah,
quick?
yeah.
Do you
Yes.
think it really is just as simple as people didn't watch the Hoosiers?
Yes. Yes. I mean, I grew up a Florida fan. And my college football bubble was no larger than the SEC. So like I'm speaking from experience. Like it was SEC, Georgia Tech, just because I live in Atlanta, and Clemson, maybe. And that was really towards high school when they started being good. So yes, I don't think maybe you're watching the Michigan Ohio State game. I mean, unless you're a college football addict, like no one's watching Iowa, Nebraska. So there's just like the Big Ten games aren't getting watched here. You'd much rather watch Mississippi State, South Carolina at noon. Like those games are getting watched.
Me and you, Justin, talked about Atlanta as a host city a little bit when we were like building up to what this episode could be. But obviously, from there, live there now currently. How does Atlanta handle putting on events? What can people expect the flow of traffic to be like, and where can people expect things to be going on?
Ooh.
Traffic's all, I mean, I live with it. So traffic is exactly what it is, but it'll be busy. It's on a Friday, which does not help. Friday at 7:30, and we're getting downtown is exactly where Mercedes-Benz Stadium is. So if you're going to the game, my suggestion to you is to find a place to be, whether that's a bar, a restaurant, or a tailgate by like 4. Traffic will start to pick up by then. And depending on where you are, if you're staying north of this stadium, it's going to take you at least half an hour to get anywhere. Have a parking plan. The bins can lock up traffic wise around the stadium. So know where you're going to be, and be there early. As a host city, Atlanta's great. I mean, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, if you've never been, is an awesome stadium. It's a great place to watch a football game. They do really well. It's Friday, so Chick-fil-A will be open inside the stadium. I've never been there for a college football. I think the last college football game I saw there, or I guess it was the Georgia Dome then. So I haven't seen a college football game in this stadium, but they're great for Falcons games, and people will be excited. I mean, I don't know any Oregon fans, but I know a lot of people that traveled to Pasadena that are traveling to Atlanta. So the interest is there, and just like looking for tickets, you can't find any on the Indiana side. You can find a lot on the Oregon side. So that tells you some things.
Brad, you were at the Rose Bowl, so obviously you understand what the power.
Also, you gotta clip that, by the way. This whole rundown in Atlanta, you gotta clip that.
Justin, what do you expect the crowd breakdown to be? Because obviously you said when you're looking at tickets and this and that, but are you hearing anything from people around the city? Is there any like inclination? Because the things that I'm hearing, seeing, it looks to be another very, very pro Hoosier crowd, and just what we know about Atlanta and the proximity to Bloomington, how many Hoosiers there are in Atlanta.
Yeah. Brad, what was, I mean, 70-30?
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
I mean,
more. That might be underselling it.
I think that is what baseline we should expect. I mean, you could say 60-40, and it's not a knock against Oregon. It's really just Oregon has been there before, and their fans have spent thousands of dollars to watch their team play. Indiana has not. So these people who have been waiting decades to watch a football team play in January have not spent the money to do that. And it's not like they've spent a lot of money on the basketball team either to travel. So it is an opportunity that they've had, or that they have not had. So yeah, I don't know why it wouldn't be close. I mean, I did the drive from Bloomington for 4 years. It's 8 hours to Atlanta. It's doable. Oregon's on the other side of the country. They just played over here. So it is asking a lot of their fans. And are we still the biggest alumni base in the country? So that is an added bonus that Atlanta is the biggest city in the Southeast, so you'd think that there's probably a fair amount of Indiana alums down here,
like yourself,
like me.
All right, well, let's talk about the Peach Bowl, because obviously, like, it doesn't get much bigger than this. We like to say on this channel, Brad likes to say that the biggest game in Indiana history is the next game. Obviously, the next game is the Peach Bowl. You alluded to being a little bit nervous. I believe that nervousness comes from the fact of the adage that it's hard to beat a good team or a great team twice. So actually, Brad, I want to start with you. How do you feel about that age-old college football adage, and do you share the nervousness?
I mean, there's something to it. In the CFP era, there's only been one team to beat a team in the playoff twice after beating them in the regular season. That was Ole Miss Tulane this year. It doesn't happen very often. However, SIG is been known to break the norm from time to time, whether that be an Indiana rebuild or, winning off a playoff bye, or, you can name a few examples. Yeah, it makes me nervous in the sense where it's like we're playing a very good team. We're playing them again. They've seen us, but we've seen them. We're going to match their physicality. We're the better team. We're older. I think that's things that are tangible, that are going to show up, that I think puts things at ease for sure for me.
Justin, did I jump the gun on assuming your nervousness?
No, well, I'm nervous because I lived through the Falcons Super Bowl. I was not comfortable when we were winning 31-3. I told my dad is an Alabama fan, my girlfriend is an Alabama grad, and we're sitting there watching the game with them, and they thought I was crazy. It was like, I have lived through a nightmare. So I swear, when they scored that touchdown to go up 38-3, I was like, okay, I'm good. So I'm always I think it's healthy to be nervous because we have something to lose. This team has something to lose, which they've never had before. Oregon's a great football team, and Indiana played an awesome game in Autzen a couple months ago. So I don't think Oregon is a better football team than they were 2 months ago. Indiana might be. But I also like what always makes me nervous about it's a college basketball, football, whatever. Are teams going to be playing unafraid? And this team all season has played unafraid. Like last year, you can point to some things that were a little bit of scared football. This year, I've got nothing. Even when like Mendoza's, 4, 3, 5 biggest mistakes have all come at huge moments and then have been immediately followed by his half a dozen best moments. Yeah. So that is reason to believe. And I believe, but I'm still nervous. Yeah. And the Peach Bowl is awesome. It's a great game. It's a great game.
Do you have any Peach Bowl notes we should know before we really dive into this? Because
just a personal lore, I've been to one Peach Bowl. It was either 2009, 10, or 11, somewhere around there. I don't remember why we got tickets. It was Georgia Tech, LSU.
There we go. Josh Nesbitt?
Maybe. LSU beat the brakes off of Georgia Tech. So much so.
Matty Flynn and Co. probably.
I'm not even sure if it was the fourth quarter. It might have been the third quarter. The tech students, engineers, if you're unfamiliar with Georgia Tech, made paper airplanes out of their programs from the upper decks and were throwing them on the field. And they were making it there because these are engineering students. They had to stop the game, get over the loudspeaker, and the loudspeaker called out Georgia Tech fans, said, please stop making paper airplanes and throwing them on the field. That is my Chick-fil-A Bowl memory, or Peach Bowl.
That is incredible.
It's a good one.
That is absolutely incredible. That honestly might even, I don't know if it's better than this head coaching matchup. It's Signetti Lanning too. I've joked all week it could be a buddy cop movie. I thought there was an awesome Dan Lanning quote about I think he's like, we don't actually really like each other or something like that, which is really fun, a respectful type of I want to kill that guy type of way. Justin, when you look at this head coaching matchup, what stands out to you?
Oregon obviously had a better springboard than Indiana did when Dan Lanning was in there. They were already an established college football powerhouse, but he did it immediately when he got to Oregon, and so did Kurt Cignetti when he got to Indiana. They're both no-nonsense guys, except for the moments that they choose to like break the fourth wall and interact with you through the television camera. They both do that in Lanning doesn't do it as much in game as Cignetti does, but he does it a lot in pressers. And I like that. Like, I like when they get a little smart with whether it's reporters in a press conference or the on-field reporter. It just makes things interesting for us. So yeah, I think it's just the demeanor, and the only thing they care about is winning. It doesn't matter how, it doesn't matter what it looks like. Like, just look, Iowa's a great example for both of these teams. That is not the style of football either of Oregon or Indiana play. And they gutted it out and won the football games. And I think that speaks to maybe some of the similarities between Lanning and Sig. It's just like, get it done no matter the cost.
Brad, when you look at these two head coaches, what stands out?
I mean, Berger just spit, such a ball noise. Oh my goodness. I miss you, JB. Such a ball noise. My goodness. Biggest thing that stands out to these guys, on top of what everything JB said, obviously so eloquent.
Oh man.
I think what's really interesting is that, like, obviously you mentioned before, like, Indiana has something to lose this time around, and it's like usually it's the opposite when it's been Dan Lanning, right? Yeah, they're going in, they're seeking their first title. Like they were in the same spot we were last year, right? Like that. I think that's another reason to maybe like double take this again, like double take this game. Like this could Oregon, for anyone left in the field, they're going to give us the best shot because of Dan Lanning. And he's like, Cignetti's kind of, he's got to be one now, right? Like, it's either Day or him. Lanning is that younger, kind of up and comer, got his shot early, like very different. They're so much the same, but like their careers couldn't have been any different. Like, Lanning goes from Saban assistant straight to damn near head coaching job at Oregon within like 5 years. Cignetti, pounded pavement in the lower ranks for like 15 years as a head coach after being a Saban assistant, having to earn his way all the way up to that point. Like, Lanning got it done a lot faster than he did. Yeah, it's old head versus young gun in the college ranks. And I'm just curious to see how a Dan Lanning team that's so similar to Cignetti in ways, in terms of how their teams kind of respond in big moments, is going to show up in a game like this, where it does seem like they also have something to lose. They should have won. It should have been them last year. They were the undefeated 1 seed. So a little redemption story arc going into this game that I think Hoosier fans should be wary of in some ways. And, just know, these things happen. It's the big show, right? It's the big show. It's like a coin flip, all these games.
Is that what they call it? They call it the big show?
The big show. Yeah, they do. That's what the streets say. Yeah.
No, I think this matchup perfectly encapsulates the adage that, teams take on the personalities of their head coach. If you look at Cignetti and you look at this Indiana team, they're older, they're seasoned, they all love football, they watch a bunch of film, like, they're no nonsense. You look at this Oregon team, it's basically the same thing, even down to the physicality. The one main difference is really the main difference between Cignetti and Lanning is the youth.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also and you can't blame Dan Lanning for this, right? Like, this is just the nature of the beast in college football. But the fact that Cignetti has both his coordinators locked in on long-term deals, and they're both like feet on the ground in Bloomington, both recruiting and game planning, versus Dan Lanning's coordinators are doing
that. We're recruiting. Can I tangent for a second? It really, and I'm sure you guys have talked about that at length. It really is a miracle that they have. First of all, I guess it's the only thing that the coordinators were like, yeah, we're better served being here than taking a call like that. It speaks levels to the direction of the program and maybe like the immediate future. I mean, I guess they both signed 3-year extensions, right? So the 3-year bubble of the future. It's just that it never happens. It never like Kirby Smart really was the last one that he could have gotten a head coaching job 5 years before he did. And Shanahan and Haynes, they both could have gotten a coaching job this cycle, maybe last cycle. So it really is just, it's awesome. It's really cool. And it's cool to be a fan of a team with a coaching staff that's like this. It's very cool.
We really
haven't talked.
Just like I said earlier.
It is crazy. We really haven't talked about Indiana football in a while because that, like, the last time me and you had a real conversation about Indiana football was when our coaching staff is getting poached left and right, and they're building the eventual Alabama super staff that they put together that Cignetti just stomped through the ground. And now we're the model program where guys could have, like, you want to tell me Brian Haynes couldn't have the Toledo job, or they probably looked at him for Virginia Tech. I'm sure Michigan sniffed around, like, if they were smart, like, you know what I mean? Like, and like, if he was offered Michigan, like I'm not saying that. But like, I'm
Whittingham,
just like,
that's a great hire.
Such a good hire.
But yeah, like the fact that we are now that team in college football where you look at them and you're like, holy shit, I wish that was us. Like, even like look at the way the Notre Dame fans have been acting in the last 2 weeks, or even the last 2 days. Like it is insane how far we've come. But even when you look at this matchup, like, I think that's another thing, like, to me, and I'd actually like to get both of your takes on this, like what Oregon and Ole Miss did, winning last round while dealing with what they're dealing with in the coaching staffs is one of the more, or two of the more impressive victories of the college football season. Am I just reading too much into this coordinators are in different spots thing?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, historically, watching bowl games, I've seen many of bowl games where they don't have one team doesn't have their head coach, and a lot of times, like, randomly, like, the team rallies behind that and wins the football game. It's happened, I don't know, like 50% of the time. You know, it's not. I don't think there's any real correlation to it. There's still a system in place that's been installed throughout the entire year. There's a set type of philosophies and things they execute consistently that they can build on a given week. And yes, it's going to be someone different, maybe calling plays, but it really doesn't change a whole lot. If obviously a mass staff turnover is a little different, but one single guy in the web isn't gonna, necessarily make things all fall apart on it for one game, right?
The Ole Miss one's it's the interesting thing to me. Yeah. Like, I think they could have been just as successful as they have been if Lane had stayed. If none of the distractions had happened, like if he just decided to stay. I think it's the most fascinating thing in the world. Like this Pete Golding, like, he was defense coordinator at Alabama. They didn't win any championships those years. Like, he just kind of took the Ole Miss job, and they're like, yeah, we're just going to make him the head coach full time. And I'm going to listen to him, and I'm like, this guy is awesome.
He's a head coach.
He is a head coach. He sounds like a head coach. He's no nonsense. His players obviously have rallied around him. And like, I think it is actually a good thing. Like I said, if Lane was there and there were no issues, I'm sure they would have been fine, and they could have also won the game. But the fact that they had all of this stuff and we're going to rally around Pete Golding, it's worked. It's worked. Got the bad man off their back with Georgia.
Brad, I want to ask you this question first because obviously
I want to take on my point because I want to talk about Pete Golding a little bit. Like, I know I said for maybe one game there's something in place because they've installed that throughout the entire year. What's going to be interesting for Pete Golding is if he can replicate that type of level of success next year through a full offseason. And I'm sure there's a lot of things he can take away from a guy like Lane Kiffin in terms of implementing that stuff. He's probably not going to change a whole lot.
All right, I have a home field advantage question for you, Brad, because obviously you saw in person the way it affected the Rose Bowl. How much of an advantage do you think having the home field flipped is going to be in this football game? Because obviously when we went to Oregon the first time, I think one of the underrated things that people forget is Indiana had to go to the silent count. And the silent count we saw against Oregon was a lot different than the one we saw that Iowa hunted. and it was a really like noted improvement, and Indiana was able to like hang in there and kind of deal with it. But they're gonna, like the offensive line, just based on the noise level alone, is going to have an easier job, like an easier time. Am I again making too much about the home crowd, or do you think that's going to make a large impact in this Peach Bowl?
I think it's actually going to make a huge impact just based on what we've seen in the Ohio State game, what we saw at the Rose Bowl. I mean, it was very clear. I mean, if they get that level of showing, it will 100% be an impact in the game. It helps the defense. It helps the offense when it gets real quiet. It's I don't know what the split's going to necessarily be. I feel like Oregon's traveling, but a lot of momentum for the Hoosiers to have a leg up. It's kind of weird to think about because forever I thought differently on neutral site games. I thought it's not very common in terms of what Indiana's been able to do to kind of lopside these neutral site games. It's not a very normal occurrence, so hard to say, but it should have an impact.
JB?
I've got nothing that he didn't say. Like, I agree with you. I think it will have an impact, but like, I don't know, no different than the Rose Bowl did. Like, you could hear it through the TV. I mean, as a television watcher, you could hear.
We booed everything out. It was unreal. It was I mean, there was a Purdue. They showed a Purdue kid on the a child, like an 8-year-old Purdue child on the jumbotron. Just instant, just boos. Echo, literally right during Dixie Delight.
That's I'm glad that it was a bummer of a Dixieland Delight, but hearing that when it's going well for Alabama is cool. It is cool.
Hurt so good went pretty crazy too.
I saw the video.
Yeah.
It's looked amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Obviously, college football this time of year, there's injuries on both sides. Both teams have to adapt. But like John's talking about in the chat here, Oregon's missing their number one running back. Jordan Davison, I guess, was playing through a smashed up collarbone in the game, or did it? I'm not even sure how it happened, but he's not playing. Then they had Jordan Lamar hit the portal. I've seen a couple different takes. I'm under the impression that it's probably not going to affect Oregon's run game that much. Justin, what do you think about, I guess, the impact of the calendar, and I guess the impact of the injury on Oregon's backfield?
No, I mean, it's like our defensive line injury, like losing Stephen Daly is horrific, but it's a great line, and we're missing an amazing player, but you fill the gap at this point, and like Indiana, Oregon is a talented enough team that next man up is going to be able to fill that need. And I'm not going to pretend and tell you that I know who their second running back is, but I'm sure he's more than capable.
Well, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, right. That's my nerd.
I know. Yeah. They're going to play, De'Air Hill and Noah Whittington are fully capable of stepping in. The real drop-off is going to be their blitz pickup protection, their pass blocking. That those guys have low grades. Davison is usually their go-to guy in those spots and on long third downs to kind of fill on long passing downs. So losing him is definitely going to affect them, just considering our pressure that we bring up the middle. And it didn't seem to stop us in any way when we played Ty Simpson, Alabama. The kid was running for his life. I mean, the kid.
No, I will say Ty Simpson.
I think that was the most Ty Simpson moved all year.
Wait, what'd you say about
Ty Simpson's? It's a different quarterback than Indiana will be seeing this week. It was never. Yeah.
Dante
Can I tell you the comp I saw for Ty Simpson today?
Am I going to be offended?
I was offended. It was Kenny Pickett.
Oh, well, that's a personal.
He's better than Kenny Pickett.
I love Kenny. I thought that was insane. Even if you want, take better out of it. Like, how do you watch Ty Simpson play and be like, you know what, the first quarterback I'm thinking of is Kenny? Like, that's crazy to me.
I think they're pretty similar.
No, they're not similar at all. You didn't watch Kenny play.
Dude, I got the master of the eye test right there.
It's on the other side.
It's on the other side.
No, it's literally doing it on my.
No, it's not.
I guess, am I flipped on this? Is it not showing?
God, unbelievable.
That's literally that's what it says on on my.
Brad, I want to
my
lock you
point of
back
view.
in with a question that I'm not sure you have the answer to. Do you believe Kenyon Sadiq was healthy in game 1?
I was at in game 1 against James, because I didn't watch the Texas Tech
No,
game.
against us.
No, he didn't look hurt. He looked pretty healthy. Kenyon Sadiq's going to be such good pro. I mean, you see in the NFL, like 3 of the top 5 rookie receivers were tight ends. Like, he's going to be one of them dudes next year. Like, tight ends are growing on trees, and it's becoming a very tight end driven league. Shout out tight end you. Kenyon Sadiq is an absolute problem. Good thing we have Elijah Hardy, who seems to be one of the best cover linebackers in the country. So really that helps us out. Should be a hell of a matchup, and I think he's going to be full go. Like at this point, I don't know what the injury was, but he didn't look any bit slow against James Madison.
JB, are you a Sadiq guy?
I don't think he's a talented player. I mean, what are you talking if he was injured in the first game?
Yeah, because I think
that affect-
he didn't make a huge impact, and I know he's a high impact player, and so it's like if you're looking for ways if you're on the Oregon side and you're like, okay, like how are we going to take advantage of this Indiana
where
team?
are we going to attack?
You're going to go like, okay, we hope Sadiq has a bigger game. You hope the receivers can find space over the middle, and you hope that like I was like, all right, well maybe they just didn't run the ball enough. They ran the ball 30 times. Like to me, he's probably got to be the biggest X factor for them. And if I was an Oregon fan, I'd be telling myself that he forced himself to play in that game and he wasn't 100% healthy and he wasn't the same player.
I mean, yes.
I think
you're always looking for excuses.
They just didn't use him. There's a chance he's 100. Is this just because he had a low stat line?
Well, it could also, I think it goes perfectly to what you said is we have Elijah Hardy, and I think he's one of the best coverage linebackers in the country, and he can take a tight end out of a football game.
Yeah, that seemed to be what Texas Tech tried to do. It seemed to not work in the long run. I didn't watch the game. I haven't watched a lick of that game. I'll be full on honesty here. I haven't watched a lick of the Oregon Texas Tech game. I haven't watched a lick of it.
Justin, did you watch it?
I watched the second half. But then it was
I think that's part of the I don't think anybody watched the full game of that either, because then people would like the ball got snapped over Dante Moore's head multiple times. He threw 2 horrific interceptions. Like if Tech could do anything on offense, that's a completely different game. And like one of my favorite follows on Twitter, Buffton Prime, was posting clips of like I thought Brandon Finney had an unbelievable game, and like stat wise, he did. He had 2 picks, he had the 6 tackles, I think he had a fumble recovery too. But T-Cal was putting up clips on Twitter of him getting burnt deep and the quarterback just missing it. And like to me, Charlie Becker has a chance to have a massive game, and he's somebody who was an afterthought in the Indiana offense when these teams met the first time. And now you could argue he's their best playmaker.
That is true. Yeah, that is true. Charlie B, Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you, Gus Johnson.
Lucky backs.
Phenomenal. Can I ask you? Wait, hold on, Justin, because you share my affinity for announcer calls and like the back end of the game and the journalistic side of the sport, and especially
I like
somebody like Gus. Like me, everybody's a big fan of him, but like me and you have had conversations about like
Gus.
So, yeah, listening to him essentially create a star out of Charlie Becker. Like, what was that?
Yes. Like? Oh yeah, no, that was awesome. I mean, it was awesome. Like ironically awesome. Kind of in the way that he tried to force Maserati Marv on us a few years ago. It just like kept saying it, but he refused to quit, which is what I really like. But I mean, now Charlie Becker is Charlie B from Nashville, Tennessee. Like I will never not think of that when I watch him play. So yeah, I mean, look, I go up and down with Gus, but him and Joel Klatt are awesome. And they called a great Big Ten championship. So, it's great. But yeah, no, it's good. We've got McDonough again for this game, and
that's a guy who needs to eat his medicine a little bit.
He famously said that the Notre Dame game was a dud, which he was right about. I like McDonough and McElroy. I think they're a good. McElroy's a ball knower. I think they make a good pair. So I'm excited for that. They got Kirk Herbstreit working like every day. That's why he's not calling he's got to call an NFL game on Saturday. So he can't call the IU game on Friday.
Well, he's somebody. Him and Joey Galloway are two people who never say nice things about Indiana, and they sat on Kirk's podcast, or is it both? I couldn't even tell you whose podcast it was, and said a lot of really nice things about Indiana. And they had Pat Coogan on, and that was awesome.
I think the nicest thing, the best thing that happened last week, if we're talking media wise, was when Game Day was making the picks, and Nick Saban was visibly he didn't take Alabama with the vigor that he normally does. I saw it immediately. This guy wants to pick Indiana, but he's contractually
he wanted to so bad, and he just knew he couldn't. It was so many words to be like.
I don't Desmond Howard has never picked against Michigan, and I don't fault him for that. And Saban's never going to pick against Alabama, but I saw a look in his eyes, I think this guy wants to pick Indiana.
Well, it's the golfing buddies comment. It's he's the one telling his golfing buddies you're not watching the film. And
he knows. There's a reason he was on the Signetti was on the staff. He knows who this guy is and knows what he's about because they're about the same thing. So yeah, if you don't trust Nick Saban, who are you going to trust?
And I think with Saban too, you can tell when he actually watches the football team and when he's just mailing it in for, I don't want to say mailing it in, that's the wrong way to put it, but doing it for entertainment versus actually trying to be knowledgeable, because he's now learning that TV is not just about saying the right thing over and over again. It's just about saying something. But when he really talks football and really wants to be knowledgeable about something, it's you turn your head and you listen to that guy. Who else are you going to trust is a great question. So I was going to ask Brad if you thought that Oregon was going to be able to fix the offensive issues they had against Texas Tech, but I don't know if they had any offensive issues against Texas Tech.
I don't know. I've watched Oregon all year. I didn't need to. Missing that Texas Tech game is not going to change how I thought about them. Seeing the final of 23-0 is the least surprising final I've ever seen from that game. Oregon is a very balanced team. They play well on both sides of the ball. Their offense has always been very strong as long as Will Stein's been calling plays. Their last 5 OCs, not even including Chip Kelly, the last 5 OCs have all become head coaches. They always have a potent offense. Will Stein's no different. They're going to be able to control time of possession if they are able to execute and pull it off, and that's the formula to beat Indiana. Those are things to be aware. I don't think looking at one Texas Tech game is going to sway me either way, which is why I don't need to watch that game. This team's good. They're going to show up, but our defense is the best in the country, so they got a tall test for them. We're not Texas Tech. So if they're going to keep up that level of execution against us, it's just not going to. From what I'm hearing, I didn't watch the game, but I heard there were struggles. I heard bad snaps. I've heard interceptions. That's not going to fly against Indiana because they don't do those things.
Well, yes, it is important to remember that for the last several weeks, for all the teams that Indiana has played, Indiana has been the best team that team has played. I am another believer that they have the best defense in the country, and I think they don't have the most explosive offense in the country, but I think they have the best offense in the country because they make the plays that matter. It really is
touchdowns than everyone.
I think it's on purpose.
It is when we run people over and refuse to stop running the ball, that really is a joy to watch, bending people to their offensive will. And it's not right. And it's not like North Texas, here we go, we're throwing it 80 yards, touchdown, fight song. It's not, it doesn't feel like that. It does feel like we are grounding and pounding, and you will submit.
And we're going to air it out 40 yards downfield, Charlie.
Sometimes, yes. Charlie B from Nashville, Tennessee. He's down there somewhere.
Yeah,
I think these guys obviously are elite at scheming looks, and I think if they wanted to consistently go down the field, they'd figure out a way to get Charlie Becker in matchups where they'd want to take shots. But I think it's so much more important for them to control the time of possession and keep the defense off the field. Whereas
they intentionally do it their way because it works. The defense stays rested and the offense makes the other team's defense what are we even doing here? You saw
16-play drive to open the Alabama game.
Kirk Herbstreit said it a few times.
How many college quarterbacks can execute a 16-play drive?
Yeah, no, it is an impressive it's an impressive thing. It is an impressive thing.
I thought it was interesting.
They're a special group of kids, aren't they, JV?
Yeah, and it's
Special
like
group.
are they 2019 LSU like killing people?
Bro,
let me just say,
we can match up.
Sure. But it doesn't feel like that when I just remember watching those LSU teams be like, they might beat this team by 60, and Indiana certainly can do that.
We've been there.
But it's the same style of we're better than you. 60 minutes, we're going to shake hands, and the game will be over, and we're going to win because we're better than you, and we're going to play our way.
I love that. I just love being there. Who would have thought? Look at us.
I thought it was interesting. Both of you said that Indiana played pretty well the first time because actually the analytics say the opposite. Bite-sized Bison, who, if I could tell him don't go, like because he's hanging it up at the end of the season, I would. But he keeps saying that like he's got to do it, and so it's like I don't want to be like the person in his comments being like, please stop. But like he put out like a chart from the first game, and it was like usually when you look at these Indiana charts from Bite-sized Bison, it's like dark green's great, everything on the chart's green. There might be like one purple thing, which is like their explosive play rate, and we just talked about why that's not high. Their EPA per play wasn't great. Their EPA per pass or EPA per rush wasn't great. Their third down EPA per play, which is elite, wasn't good at all. Obviously, Oregon didn't play well either, but Indiana probably played a C game.
This is EPA, right? EPA.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to be lower because Oregon's is fighting, they're a good team. So like our EPA is just naturally going to be lower. I think that's how that stat works. Just like game by game. When you take it over the course of a season, it's going to be, when you win all your games, it's going to be very high. Oregon's going to fight. All that tells me is that Oregon's just one of our best shots they were one like throughout the year. I'd say Penn State and Iowa and Ohio State played us closer, to be honest. But Oregon, I was not, I knew this team was good, but like going to Oregon on the road, like I didn't feel comfortable until the fourth quarter, which I know we beat the piss out of them. But in the second half, I think they had like 50 yards on offense in the second half, something like that. Like they did nothing in the second half. But like that first half, like Oregon was hanging around, they're fully capable of like replicating that. But like we're older, we were on the road, and that we eventually just broke through. Like to JB's point, we made them submit. That's just what happened. This is the national semifinal. Oregon has been here before. They're very talented. They're on a redemption arc. Are we going to be able to have them make them submit? I don't think it's going to be as easy as last time.
JB, I know you're crunched for a little bit of time. Do you have a score prediction?
Oh God, I hate that.
I am putting you on the spot.
Yeah. What was it, 30-20 last time? So I mean, I think the 30s are a comfortable number for Indiana, and their defense more important. Like I think Indiana can score 30 on anybody. I mean, obviously they didn't do it against Ohio State or Iowa or Penn State, but like on any given day, they could score 30 against anybody, I believe. So 34-21.
It's too many points, but acceptable.
Too many points?
Too many points for Oregon.
It's a lot of points.
Oh, too many points for Oregon? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Well, whatever. I am sending a ton of respect Oregon's way.
You should.
Do not I don't want to come off as overconfident or cocky, so humble. What does Signetti say? Humble, hungry, whatever it is. That's what I
what do you think he's saying at halftime though?
Oh, beat their ass. So yeah, I mean, I hope it's a size, like it's not going to look like Alabama's game, or it's not going to look like the Alabama game, obviously. But I believe this about any of the 12 teams that Indiana, or 11 other teams Indiana could have played. they are the best team in the country. Like, I don't feel like I'm going out on a limb by saying that. I don't feel like I have to convince people about that anymore. I think they have the best offense in the country. I think they have the best defense in the country, and that should theoretically be able to win you any game. So I am confident. Again, a little cautious.
I love it. Brad, do you have a final question for our friend JB before we get him out of here?
I don't think I'm allowed to ask the question on air, but
Jesus, what could that mean?
Just for instruction. But no, it's good to see you, JB. I hope you have a great time at the Peach Bowl. I know you're going to be loud, or I don't know how you are at the games.
Are
you a shouter? I don't know. I feel like you're watching the game, you know, cross-armed, right?
I'm like this a little bit, quiet, and then like spastic when something goes good or bad. But I don't I'm not the guy that's like screaming at the other team or anything, but I'm going to get loud when Indiana scores or does something well, but I'm going to be composed most of the other time, probably like shaking my leg, standing up with my arms crossed. That is probably how I will be operating during the game.
I love it. Justin, take a look at the chat. Show some love.
What's up, chat? Eric, what's up? You'll be there? Sick. No, I think we're gonna have a good crowd. We're gonna have a good crowd of Hoosiers, period, and then a good crowd of people that the three of us know, which is exciting in itself because you don't get to see people as often anymore. So that'll be great.
Yeah, 100%. Bruce and Pundit are pulling up.
Oh,
and Max Moore.
Very excited about that. All right, well, guys, thanks so much for having me.
Of course.
Appreciate you, JB.
No, you're welcome anytime. We need more JB. This is a lot.
Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. I just lied for 45 minutes.
Love it. We'll talk soon,
Have a good one, guys. Go Hoosiers.
See you.
I love it. God, we don't talk to him enough. Unreal.
Speak for yourself. I guess you can't get enough, right?
Yeah. What a guy. What a guy.
Mm.
So funny. I got keys to the game, Brad. I'm not just letting us off the hook.
Oh, yeah.
Key number one, Brad. Cool. Control the temp. What?
Yeah. Control the temp. Control the time of possession. As long as we have, what the coolest stat from last one, I heard this one recently. Bama only ran 50 plays. The Rose Bowl. Just belt the ass. They just couldn't stay on the field the whole game. That's an unreal stat. We only snapped the ball 65 times. And we beat them by 30 times.
I wrote down, Brad, a stat from Brooks Austin, who I've done a 180 on Brooks Austin since he started actually watching the film. He said that, and I went back and looked, Indiana hasn't run more than 70 plays on offense since the Maryland game.
Yeah.
It's just ruthless execution. Absolutely ruthless execution. Key number 2, Brad, confuse Dante Moore. Turnover battle, obviously huge. We saw it play out in the first game. It didn't hurt Oregon. I mean, it won the turnover battle, but Dante Moore turned the ball over 2 times in that football game. Didn't really hurt Oregon against Tech. 2 turnovers against Indiana is deadly. Got to confuse Dante Moore.
Death sentence, basically.
Yeah. Landon called Bryant Haynes' defense an illusions defense. T-Cow's scouting report from the first time Indiana played Oregon was that Dante Moore struggled to read the underneath hook curl defenders. Bones Jones got him once. They tipped another ball. That was the other pick. Looking for a lot more of the same.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm ready for my score prediction.
All right, then I'll just roll through this. Key number 3, stop the run. Obviously, Oregon has 2 talented running backs, Jordan Whittington and
very talented, super good, really good players, like really good guys. The guys will play in the NFL one day.
Whittington and De'Aaron Hill, like those guys are going to tote the rock.
Like NFL guys.
I know they play a ton of 2 running back sets, but also like if you look at how effective Indiana is with their 2 running back rotation, like it's not hard to imagine that Oregon can figure out how to rotate 2 running backs.
Great players.
Key number 4, put Charlie Becker in sports mode. I talked about the clips T-Cal was posting, how Brandon Finney seems like you can kind of take advantage of him when he's, I don't know if it's cover 4 or man coverage, and you can kind of run the deep post on him. That's Charlie Becker's specialty. Indiana's going to tee that up multiple times. You see the way they take deep shots when teams try and press them. Oregon pressed them a shitload in week 7. So I'm expecting a huge game.
Finney is a true freshman, future NFL draft pick. Amazing player. Amazing. He's got to deal with Sirach Coop and Becker and EJ Williams. And
EJ had an awesome Alabama
offense
game.
And, he's going to be on an island because you're going to run the ball down your throat if you don't. It's gonna be an interesting day for Finney. He's a guy that can step up and have an amazing game. We'll see what he's able to do. I like playing devil's advocate for Oregon right now. It's really funny. It's good.
Key number 5, use the crowd noise. Oregon was able to use the crowd, obviously, to force Indiana into silent count. We talked about a 60-40, 70-30 crowd split. I'm expecting a really aggressive, really rowdy Indiana fan base just because of the proximity to Bloomington. I'm not, and it's not disrespectful to the Oregon fans. It's a fan base that travels really well. It's just a lot farther than Indiana. So like the alumni base and all of that, it just makes much more sense that Indiana's going to have more fans there. I think that's going to be a huge difference in this game. I don't think people understand how much crowd noise affects college football players. I don't think people understand how much crowd noise affects this Indiana football team. And without a deafening crowd noise, it's really hard to beat them. Score prediction.
It's gonna be loud for sure. I don't know what's Oregon's toughest road game this year.
Kinnick.
They went to Beaver Stadium, got the win in OT.
They went to Iowa,
and they did go to Iowa. They've been tested just as well as we have on the road, volume wise. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. It's all I'm doing.
Good. No, that I'm not. Nobody's. I'm not even.
They're really good. They're a good team.
They are a good team. Great coach.
I cannot wait to get my score prediction. God. All right.
Score prediction. Launch it on the people, Brett.
Oregon's really good. Oregon's a very good team. They're definitely the second best team in the Big Ten this year, especially after watching yes, I think Ohio State played us the best, but I think if Oregon and Ohio State matched up this year, I think Oregon's offense would be too much, and I think Oregon's defense would be able to do enough to get a win. I don't think Ohio State's defense was all that test, especially after seeing the Miami game. They are a great defense though, but yeah, Oregon's been fantastic all year. They're on a redemption arc. They're looking to bounce back from being in our exact same spot last year and getting embarrassed by Ohio State in the
chat's accusing you of
Oregon. I see the chat. I'm stirred up. It doesn't matter. Indiana is arguably they're one of the best teams of all time at this rate. They're on a track to go to 16-0. They execute at a level I personally have never seen before. I think their talent matches up at an NFL level with any team in the country. I think they're going to pump out like 8 draft picks this year from this team, and then many more on the way after. They are the modern day. They're the closest thing to Nick Saban Bama I've seen. Period. I mean, LSU 2019 was a special group just in terms of just that Burrow, Jefferson, Chase. Like that's unguardable. That's unguardable. You just can't deal with that. Like they're gonna score at will. Doesn't matter who's playing, and obviously they have great players as well. But this team, like top to bottom, 11 guys doing their jobs. Like every single starter has played at like an all-conference level, and it accumulates. It's multiplication to what is now looking to be one of the best teams of the modern era, thus making them one of the best teams ever. 42-10, Indiana.
Oh my God. Oh my God. When you said wait for my score prediction, I didn't think you were going there. I love it.
Clip that.
Jesus. I love it. Dude, my head's in the same spot, and I almost feel like I'm being too disrespectful. Like, I feel like I'm.
Oregon can win this game. I will say that.
And I feel like I'm trying to be respectful to Oregon, and that's trying to be too respectful to the opponent has kind of been my issue all year. I was 28-14 last week when I predicted the Alabama score. At the same time, I full blown expected Indiana to cover and look good doing it. Like, God, you're inspiring me to add at least a touchdown to what I thought.
If Indiana plays exactly how they've played the entire year, accounting for the fact that they've gotten better as the year's gone on, they will win this game 42-10.
I think you're right. I'm gonna add a touchdown. I'm gonna say it's gonna be 35-10. All touchdowns. I'm gonna say 31-10, and I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna stop crossing it out, and then I'm gonna look like a fool when they put up. And 10 points, like, again, you want to be respectful to this Oregon offense, but like, man,
Their defensive line's very good. There's a lot of area. We previewed this game earlier in the year. There's plenty of spots where they can step up and elevate. But from what we've seen this past year and what we saw, or what other people saw, not me, in the Texas Tech game, this is not looking great for Oregon in any sense. Distracted OCs. You got an injured Davison. You got mistakes against Texas Tech, who, mind you, is a great defense, but a lot of those sound self-inflicted. Snaps over the head, throwing bad balls. It's just not going to work against a team like Indiana, the way they're playing right now. Alabama's not flawed team, yes. Bad team, no. They were in the quarterfinal for a reason. They went to Norman and won by 10. Like, they're a good team. Indiana smoked them. If they play how they are supposed to play, they will win this game handily.
I echo that same sentiment, that same confidence. Listen, me and you sat here on this show back in, I can't remember which month it was, all the months leading up in the preseason, being like, Indiana fans should be confident in this football team for very good reason. So when they're showing us all those things, it's hard not to be confident in this team.
Indiana not
like
winning
one of the things that I refrained.
Upset.
Well, yeah. Well, one of the things I refrained from bringing up when we were talking to Justin was the fact that the line has moved from 4.5 to 3.5, and like, what that says to me is people are trying to bet that line down so they can bet it back up, because anybody who watched both football teams play last week cannot, like, I don't know. Maybe this could be the homer goggles, because like I was saying the same thing about going into Iowa, and so it's like I want to be too careful with like how dominant you can be in the semifinal of the college football playoff. But I mean, like, if you look at the way these two teams were executing, at least in their last game, and you're only as good as your last game, like, night and day.
The reason why I feel so confident is, like, yeah, you can have talent, right? Like, talent's great. Talent's going to get you so far in this college football. It's always been enough to get you 12-0, 13-0, be crowned AP champion. It was always enough to get you 14-0, win the national championship game in the BCS era. It was always enough to get you through the 4-team playoff. It's a 3-game stretch. What's going to translate 3 games guaranteed over talent every single fucking time? Execution, fast, physical, relentless, smart, disciplined poise. 11 guys doing their jobs, doing it all year, haven't blinked. I mean, what? I can be nervous about a Rose Bowl hangover. I could be nervous about, beating a team twice. There's a lot of things to be nervous about. This team has shown me way too many times that they're a special group of kids. Very special. Like, we're bringing in all this talent in the portal. I don't know if it can replicate the type of culture in the locker room that they've been able to develop throughout this year. I mean, time will tell, right? Uber talented, and they execute. On top of all that, they're crazy talented. A lot of these kids are going to play in the NFL a long time. I'm uber confident in this team to maintain that. If it doesn't, it'd be an absolute nightmare. But that won't happen because it's Ignati's coach team, right?
Oh,
I believe.
Yeah, the chat does seem to agree. Brent Fender saying no, they can't. Oregon can win. I believe. IDoc is saying, for the record, I don't think IU gets beat, but there's no other team I'd rather win. If we do, Oregon fans are fun. That is, I mean, the biggest takeaway for me, who spends a ton of time on Twitter and like has been observing the timeline, is like the stark difference between most fan bases, but specifically the Alabama fan base, and the way the Oregon fan base operates on that platform is night and day, man. Like, what an enjoyable time with the Oregon fans on that platform. What an enjoyable time.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk
Oregon's
about the
gonna
other semifinal game?
Yeah, Oregon's going to be really good next year, by the way. They're super young, and that's probably playing to their disadvantage in this game. But they're uber talented and a lot. All their best players are coming back besides like Mateo, Ugulele, and maybe the other end guy, and Butcher. And they're bringing everyone else back. They're going to be awesome next year.
I agree. You want to talk about Miami and Ole Miss?
Yeah, let's talk about it. I'm ready.
Because to me, I mean, it's really impressive what Oregon's doing with 2 of their coordinators taking other jobs, but Ole Miss is coaching with like 6 different staffers, like leaving to go coach at LSU next year. Not only are they winning football games, but they're retaining their guys too. Like Trinidad Chambliss it looks like he's getting a waiver. He's gonna stay. Kawan Lacey is staying at Ole Miss another year, which is crazy. Like those 2 guys alone, elite playmakers. That's like this game is. Can Chambliss make enough plays versus like the almost like Indiana-esque style of football that Miami's trying to play with run game and make the right play and defense? I'm super, super intrigued by this matchup. What's your read?
It's a great matchup. First off, fantastic. Gotta call it out. Fantastic uniform game. Fantastic. Blue, red, white, and blue on the green and orange. Beautiful. It's what I've always wanted in the playoff, to see all these traditional teams. Like, yeah, there's a lot of talk about, a lot of these teams winning a championship for the first time. Indiana excluded. Like Oregon, Ole Miss, Miami have always been relevant in the modern era since '98, which I represent. That was my birth year, my birth year, and the birth year of the BCS, the modern college football era. And since then, all 3 of those schools have been traditional, powerhouses, and have put their name on the game. Despite obviously Miami kind of leaning off a lot of success in the 80s. But, we think of Ole Miss, they've had some fantastic teams, especially post 2010. Feels like they've been knocking on the door to have a magical run and a great season. So kind of see this matchup happen. It's obviously super exciting. And the teams are great too this year. They got Trinidad Chambliss, one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league. I think I've been saying for weeks he should have gotten more notoriety for the Heisman, probably due to that he didn't start till week 3. Kind of works against him. So if he comes back next year, he should be the Heisman favorite. Big fan of him. He's like a Walmart Caleb Williams. Yeah, pretty good. He's a good player. And then that's high praise, man. It's high praise. Like the Walmart version of a Heisman winner. Yeah. He might win one. He could still win the Heisman. He could. Make me eat my words. Caleb was true sophomore when he did it. However, then you got Carson Beck, who I think gets a lot of disrespect for no reason, mostly for things that happen to him off the field. I think it's disrespect. Yeah, he's had bad games, but I mean, kid's super talented, always has been. He's going to get drafted this year. Super excited for him and seeing his development. Maybe not first round, but someone should take a chance on him. I think that's a guy that brings a lot of value, a lot of upside to a quarterback room. He could turn into something. I think it's like a good stash guy. He could turn into a very solid backup in the league. He's a very good athlete. If he can just figure out the mental game, he can take some real strides. Very great matchup. I think with these matchups, the common theme is like the better quarterback is kind of won in all these matchups. Like I'm taking Beck over Sand. Like right now, maybe not in like, maybe when Sand's Beck's age, I might take Sand over Beck this year. But right now I'm taking Beck. Like I'm taking Chambliss over Gunnar Stockton all day. I'm taking Mendoza over Simpson. I'm taking Dante Moore over Baron Morton. Better believe it. So it's kind of been the theme of the playoffs to where like the better quarterback has won the matchup. And that's why I brought these 2 guys up, right? And for me, Trinidad Chambliss, man, what a game did he? Insane. He just, like I said, Walmart Caleb Williams makes things happen. Just special talent, just the ability to do it. Maybe he doesn't have the craziest arm strength like Caleb does. Not consistent accuracy at times. Yeah, at times he can be pretty accurate when he wants to be. But yeah, he just kind of makes things happen, and it's a very good trait to have. And I think he's more experienced and won a championship last year. I'm taking Chambliss in this quarterback matchup going into this game. Now, with that point, that Miami defense is woo, oh man, Bain and number 4 Mesidor, right? Those guys, 10-year pros, both of them. That's why they're in the semifinal, because they got 2 future 10-year NFL vets playing edge for them. That's why they're in the playoff right now. Scouts, take notes here. This is how you find talented players in the draft. All right, take fucking notes. Hope you're listening. Yeah, it's like rock meets a hard place. I feel like the Chambliss magic is just going to continue. This is going to be an insane game. It's going to be like 28 first to 30 wins, but like it's going to be pretty back and forth. I don't know. It could get, I don't know. That Miami defense is pretty good, but I think Ole Miss, it's going to be all about Ole Miss's defense and who shows up that day. They've been pretty good, and that's why they've come this far. And I think that might be the edge for Ole Miss to take care of business. And they might be able to stop Miami enough to where Chambliss can make things happen for them and pull out the win.
I'm so intrigued with this game for everything you just laid out. Like the quarterback matchup to me is so intriguing, and I think you're right. That being said, the run game, the defense, the physicality, I feel like Indiana's on a crash course with this Miami team, and it's like almost poetic that like the one team in the playoff that could potentially pull the crowd away from Indiana is like figures itself out, like gets thrown a bone to get into the playoffs, and then it's like run game defense, like what wins championships. It's like, can Ole Miss's defense force a mistake out of Beck, because Ole Miss is going to make a couple mistakes and they're just going to like figure out how to push past it with their talent and their ability to make plays and all of that. But Miami has turned into this team that doesn't make any mistakes and forces mistakes. And it's like this almost like Indiana light. And I just, it's hard for me to not see Indiana and Miami matching up in Miami, making a very poetic.
Like SEC has not, besides Arizona State, they haven't beaten a Power 4 team in regulation, I don't think, in the playoffs since 2020, something like that. Obviously in the 12 team playoff.
And listen, like if Ole Miss just came out and just let it rip all over this Miami defense and ran all over the, like that'd be, I don't know, I'd be pretty, like I like to think like, what would I be more surprised about? Like, would I be more surprised if Miami just squeezed the game and this was like 21-13 and like Chambliss has a shot to win it at the end, or like if this was like 35-30 and Ole Miss just won a shootout? Like, I think I'd be more surprised if it was a shootout.
That's the thing, though. I think Ole Miss can win a squeeze. This is a team that went 11-1 in the SEC. They've won 2 straight playoff games. They're deep. You don't do that without defense. You just don't. You just don't roll through the SEC 11-1 without defense. You know, you just can't do that. So, I don't care how good Chambliss is.
Ole Miss is plus 3.5 on FanDuel. Are you taking that?
Yeah. Ole Miss hasn't played a team they haven't beaten. Georgia was their only loss. They beat them in the playoff. This is a damn good Ole Miss team. Well, they considered the best Ole Miss team of all time.
Do you like 3.5? Or is it a stay away? Yeah.
That's a stay away number if I ever seen one. 1-800-GAMBLER, FanDuel. Love Indiana spread, by the way. 1-800-GAMBLER, FanDuel. It's kind of fun to say. I kind of forgot. I'm so locked in on the pod. I kind of forgot we have a FanDuel sponsorship. But
it's a network thing.
Yeah. It's not just us. Unfortunately, it would be cool.
Oh my God, you're too much, Brad. You kill me. You got any final thoughts? As you take a drink of water, I have a final thought. I'll be at the Peach Bowl. If you're going to be in Atlanta, let me know. Hit me up on Twitter. Drop it in the chat. Drop it in the comments of the video. Like I'm getting in early on Thursday, like I think 11 a.m. or something like that. And then like nobody else I really know is getting into the city until later. And so I'm going to be figuring out something to do. Probably go to the College Football Hall of Fame. Might head over to the aquarium. I don't even know yet. The world's my oyster, though. So if you're going to be in Atlanta, hit me up. Let me know. You have a final thought, Brad?
Final thought. No, 42-10. 42-10. Is my like I'm just trying to think of a way for Oregon to. I mean, it would just be devastating for this team to not pull it off. Like, this is such a special group of kids. They're super talented. They've executed so well all year. I mean, Oregon can step up and give them a game. So, like, but I'm very confident that Indiana is going to break their will. I mean, they really showed it toward the end of the second half of that Oregon game that they're just a little different. They're on a different level. Like, it was not – people were talking about how this game was close. It was not close. That game should have been 35-10. Like, that game was not close. And it felt like that was a grinder of a game too. It wasn't like Indiana was like splash plays all over them. Like, they were grinding that out with Oregon and in a game that probably should have been 20 plus. And it was somehow, Fernando pick 6 makes it 10 basically. It's
I think that's Autzen Stadium for you though.
Yeah, and that's what it does, right? Now they're on a neutral field where it's probably going to lean Indiana. Indiana's older. They've been here before. They've executed at such a high level at all times. And so is Oregon. Oregon's executed at a high level. They're very similar. Like, these are similar teams. I think the age thing doesn't matter. I think they're just a little more talented right now than Oregon is. Like, just our guys versus your guys. Like, our guys right now are better than their guys. 3 years, you look at an Oregon roster, you're gonna be like, whoa, that Oregon team is really good. Like, yeah, they were loaded. They're all freshmen though at that point. They're all younger guys, and it's just a little different for Indiana. I think there's like a 2-year age gap between the average age of starting lineups between Indiana and Alabama. You saw what happened. It's bad. It tapped. Alabama tapped against this
every time somebody complains about the age of Indiana's roster, like the guys they bring in the transfer portal, like I gain more power.
Yeah, where was this? Where was this for years? BYU's been on this shit forever. What are we talking about, guys? What are we talking about?
I love it. If you're watching on Twitter, if you're watching on the Sigs Inside Twitter account, hop on over to YouTube, hit subscribe. The subscriber count's starting to run up again. We're going to set a goal in the offseason. We're going to really chase it down. But obviously, number one goal is winning the Peach Bowl and then moving on to the national championship game. But if you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to Indiana at the Voice of College Football. Follow us on Twitter. Follow me at Alec Keyser. Follow Brad at Bradley_Loomis8. Follow the Voice of College Football. Follow Indiana at the Voice of College Football. All that good stuff. Shout out to the boys: Wave, Nick, Squirrel, Signar. The intro song 1621. The outro song, The Sweet Sound of Butter Symphony. Brad, we'll be doing a recap show on
game on Friday.
Saturday night.
Yeah, maybe got the playoffs. Yeah, Bears on Saturday, man. I don't know. Got the Bears, dude. We're talking about the Ducks right now. I think I'm going too crazy after the game. So, you kidding me, Keyser? Yeah, it's not clocking to you right now. Like, I got to deal with the Ducks on Friday. I got to deal with the Packers on Saturday. Like, it's so be careful what you wish for with all this fandom. Be careful. Yeah, Loki got the Bills too. Technically no, but
yeah, poor guy. Wipe your tears with that Dodger championship merch.
Yeah, I think it got lost in shipping somehow. My Rose Bowl gear, it's not getting here till later.
Being a fan is tough, right, Brad?
It's so hard being a fan like me. That's my final thought. It's so hard to be a fan.
Appreciate you guys for hanging out. We'll see you over the weekend. I'll be back on the channel with the video at some point Friday night or Saturday morning, and we'll go from there. But let's enjoy the Peach Bowl and let's live in enjoy this moment. Like, we're in this college football semifinal, and it's fun to look ahead and it's fun to look back, but stand where our 2 feet are. Let's enjoy this.
To ass. And
Bison drop tomorrow. By the time you listen to this, Bison drop might already be out. There could be 100 things on Twitter right now. I haven't looked, but I'm eyes on Bison drop on the 7th. So shout out to the boys. Go Hoosiers.